As women approach their 40s, the body undergoes significant physiological changes, making nutrition, fitness, and health advice fundamentally different from what worked in 20s and 30s. Hormonal shifts like estrogen decrease and changes in insulin sensitivity will alter the metabolism, energy levels, and fat distribution. This means that the one-size-fits-all approach to diet and exercise no longer applies. Women over 40 need tailored strategies that consider these changes, focusing on maintaining muscle mass, supporting hormonal balance, and optimizing overall health to feel vibrant and strong in this new phase of life. Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of REV Your Metabolism with Alicia Murphy. That's me. I'm Alicia. So glad that you're here. Today, we're diving into the secret sauce behind fat loss and energy, our metabolic hormones. Before we get into this, I have two things that we need to talk about. Number one, do you have your walking shoes on? Because remember our deal. I want to share this great information with you, but I need you to be out so we can be walking and talking. And the second thing I want to let you know is, and this really ties in with today's episode, I've created a quiz all about your metabolism. So you take this quiz, it's super fun. I mean, who doesn't love a flipping quiz? And what it's going to tell you is what your metabolic type is, as well as custom tips according to what your answers were for how you can start to take steps to rev your metabolism. Sound good? So here's the deal. You're going to scroll down wherever you're listening. There are going to be show notes or a description, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to put the link to the quiz in that area. And I'll put it right at the very tippy top so that you can for sure see it. Are you ready to get into it today? I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So let's kick things off with what are metabolic hormones. And I want you to pay attention because there may or may not be, wink, wink, a fact or fiction based on what I'm about to tell you. So get ready for that. So here we go. Think of your metabolic hormones as the traffic signals of your body, guiding when to stop, go, and slow down on the fat loss highway. What I'd like to do right now is give you a quick, brief overview of each of the hormones that have to do with your metabolism, because there are quite a few hormones that make up your metabolism and the way it functions. So here we go. Number one, my buddy, insulin. Let's call insulin the storage manager. What it does, insulin is like your body's storage manager. It's in charge of taking the sugar, remember what is also known as glucose, from your bloodstream and then storing it into cells for energy later on. Imagine insulin as the super organized librarian of your body, making sure all the sugar books are neatly stored on the shelves. But if too many books, and remember, that means sugar, come in, the shelves get overloaded, leading to fat storage. Why this matters. When insulin is working well, it helps regulate your blood sugar levels, it helps keep your energy steady. But when it's out of balance, it can lead to excess fat storage, especially around the belly, which makes losing weight sometimes pretty difficult. All right, so that was insulin. Number two, let's talk about cortisol. And I'm going to call cortisol the stress responder. What it does is it's your body stress responder. It gets released when you're under pressure, helping you handle emergencies by increasing your energy levels and alertness. And before I go into a better description, remember, we've talked about this before. What I just said was it helps you to handle pressure and emergencies by increasing your energy levels. What does that mean exactly? It means increasing your blood sugar. Because when your blood sugar goes up, that's a quick and easy way for you to access the energy you need to handle whatever the stressor is. Okay, so think of cortisol as your body's fire alarm. It goes off when there's an emergency, getting you ready to fight or flee, hence the blood sugar. But when the alarm is going off all the time, it can lead to burnout. And it matters because cortisol is essential for survival, but too much of it can lead to chronic stress, which in turn can cause your body to store fat. And again, particularly around the midsection, and it can drain your energy. Now, it's like, I don't want to villainize insulin and cortisol because there's a lot of that going on out there where people are like, they're the villains. But it's like too much of a good thing. When insulin is balanced, it's great. When cortisol is balanced, it's great. But what we're seeing in today's world, in today's lifestyle, are too much insulin, which can then lead to prediabetes, all kinds of issues, and too much cortisol, which can also disrupt your metabolism, lead to fat storage, lead to you feeling tired all the time. So it's kind of a big deal. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the thyroid hormone. So I'm going to call that the metabolism regulator. So what it does, thyroid hormones, mainly T3 and T4, are the regulators of your metabolism. They control how fast or how slow your body converts food into energy. Picture your thyroid hormones as the thermostat of your body's engine. These thyroid hormones decide whether you're cruising along efficiently or if you're idling in slow motion. And it matters because when your thyroid hormones are balanced, your metabolism hums along smoothly, it's burning calories efficiently. But if they're out of whack, you might experience sluggishness, weight gain, or difficulty losing weight. I'm sorry, I just got distracted because there is a guy in front of my house literally holding like a life-size Minnie Mouse doll. And I don't know, it just really, it kind of freaked me out, to be honest with you. Okay, let's get back to this. The next one I want to talk about, really important, especially for us ladies over 40. Estrogen, the female balancer, but I also would like to call it the stress shield. So what does estrogen do? It's one of the primary female sex hormones, playing a crucial role in regulating the reproductive system, but it also has a significant impact on fat distribution, bone health, mood, and it serves as a shield against cortisol. This is why it becomes a problem as those estrogen levels continue to drop. We become more and more sensitive to that stress hormone, cortisol. Okay. Think of estrogen like the queen bee, overseeing many aspects of your body's hive. When she's in charge, everything runs smoothly, but when she's out of balance, the whole hive feels the impact. As women age, estrogen levels will naturally decline, especially during menopause, leading to changes in fat distribution, hello belly fat, mood swings, bone density loss, and again, like I just mentioned, sensitivity to too much cortisol. And in the next episode coming up, I'm going to touch more on that, but you really, really need to take that into account as you are in your 40s, in your 50s, and beyond. All right, now let's talk about leptin. Leptin is the satiety signal. So leptin is a hormone that signals your brain when you're full, that helps to regulate your appetite and energy balance. Leptin is like your body's stop eating signal, waving the red flag when you've had enough at the dinner table. But when this signal gets ignored, it can lead to overeating. Leptin's crucial for maintaining a healthy weight. However, in cases of leptin resistance, often seen in obesity, your brain doesn't get the full signal, leading to overeating and difficulty losing weight. So I'm gonna just wrap up this little section here that we're talking about by saying why this all matters and the impact of these hormones on fat storage, energy levels, and overall health. Let's talk about fat storage first. These hormones that we just went over play a crucial role in how your body stores fat or burns fat. When they're balanced, your body efficiently uses energy, keeping fat storage to a minimum. But when they're out of balance, like high insulin or high cortisol from chronic stress, your body tends to store more fat, particularly in the belly area. I know. Trust me, I'm going to have some good news for you soon. Now let's talk about how they impact energy levels. Balanced hormones keep your energy levels steady throughout the day, and insulin prevents energy crashes by regulating your blood sugar. Thyroid hormones keep your metabolism running at the right speed, and cortisol provides short bursts of energy during stress. But if these hormones are imbalanced, you could experience energy slumps, fatigue, or jitteriness. I don't know. I just had to say it in a weird way because it's kind of a funny word. Finally, how do these impact your overall health? Hormones are the unsung heroes of your overall health. Estrogen protects your heart and your bones. Insulin and leptin help regulate your appetite and your weight. Thyroid hormones keep your metabolism in check. So when any of these are out of balance, it doesn't just affect your weight, it can also affect your mood, your sleep, your long-term overall health. Understanding and managing your hormones is key to staying vibrant, healthy, and full of energy, especially as you age. And I want to stop for a moment to just make sure that I say this now. As women start to approach their 40s, and of course, 40 is not the magic number. For some women, it might be 35. For some women, it might be 45 or 50. But, we're just going to say as women approach their 40s, the body undergoes significant physiological changes. And this makes all that advice out there, the nutrition advice, the fitness advice, the health advice, it's different from what worked when you were in your 20s and 30s. These hormonal shifts we just talked about are going to alter your metabolism, alter your energy levels, alter fat distribution. So this means that there is no one size fits all approach. And women over 40, you really need tailored strategies that consider these changes. We want to focus on maintaining muscle mass or even building more lean muscle mass. We want to support hormonal balance and optimize overall health, right? So it's kind of like, you become a whole new, physiologically, a whole new person. And you got to take that into account. I think it's time now for a fact or fiction. Fact or fiction? The hormone estrogen acts as a shield to stress. Have you been listening? Do you know the answer? Is that a fact or a fiction? Yeah, that's a fact. And once again, it makes sense that why when we start getting closer to we're in perimenopause, we're in menopause, and that estrogen is just plummeting. It's like you're losing that stress warrior. So you gotta be really intuitive with things that your body might perceive as a stressor. And again, we're gonna talk more about that in the next episode. So let's move on. Women over 40 need to pay attention. So if you're a lady over 40, you're listening to this, pay attention. Remember the days when you were like 23 and you could eat anything and not gain a pound? Or you would like go on a diet and drop all this weight so easy. And now it's like, if you even look at a piece of cake, you just feel the bleh, 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 pounds coming on. Yeah. Well, that's all thanks to this hormonal shifts that we've been talking about. How about this one? This is a good one. Because men don't have to go through as crazy of hormonal shifts as we do, ladies. So it's like this: when your husband says, you both decide you're going to lose some weight, right? So your husband just cuts out chips from his lunch and he drops 10 pounds in a week. And you're over here like eating nothing but carrots and broccoli and chicken breast and you gain 3 pounds, right? Okay. Again, because of the hormonal disruption that we go through. And while we're on the subject of eating, I would just want you to know, I'm sitting here sipping my grapefruit flavored Spindrift because I love it. And again, anybody out there knows somebody that works for Spindrift, tell them they could be my first sponsor. Spindrift. Okay, moving on. Again, remember what I'm telling you here is it's important to know, and I hope it also makes you feel better, because I know a lot of women that are very frustrated and they're like, listen, I'm starving myself. I'm doing all this cardio. My belly is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What is the effing deal? Well, this natural shift in our hormones will affect the metabolism. It can make your metabolism slower. It can increase fat storage. It can cause lower energy. Usually these are specifically correlated with insulin resistance, leptin resistance. Again, that lower estrogen, and you're still out there killing it like you're 23 with these insane workouts that are actually sending your cortisol so high. And all of the things that you did in your 20s, they don't work anymore. Some of you might be lucky. So I'm not going to say we can't make it, across the board, black and white. There is a gray area, but I'm just telling you, for most of you, if you feel extremely frustrated because everything you're doing is not working, I want to tell you, don't worry. This is not a one-way street. Understanding your hormones means you can take back control. And we're going to talk about fitness. And when I get to fitness, I want to explain the tweaks you need to make in fitness. And I'm probably going to have to do a whole episode on this, but I just want to make sure that you know things like, I hate to call out names here, things like Orange Theory, F45, spin class. Those things are not going to help you transform your body when you are over 40 and beyond. They're just not. So we'll get to that in a second. Hang on. And I hope nobody out there is going to come for me when I just said that, but sorry, but not sorry. I'm just kidding. No. All right. Moving right along. Let's go to the next segment. Keeping your hormones in balance. I'm going to give you a few ideas that are easy to follow on how you can balance your metabolic hormones. Now, of course, hold on, I got to take a sip of my Spindrift. Yum. Love grapefruit. If you've never tried Spindrift grapefruit and you like grapefruit, you are missing out. So I want to talk about a few things that you can do to either support your hormones as you're aging or hopefully bring back some balance to your metabolic hormones. Because we're talking about the hormones that are related to your metabolism. That's my jam. That's what I do. That's what your girl Alicia is here for. But I do want to also tell you this. If you feel like you have an issue, then I would go see your doctor. I would go see an endocrinologist, that is a hormone doctor, and have them help you out, especially if you think you have thyroid issues. But here are some holistic things that you can do. So let's talk about your diet, what you're eating. You really want to focus on whole foods. It's so important. This goes so much deeper than calories. I did a whole episode about calories in, calories out, and you really want to go listen to that because it's not as simple as calories in means what we eat and calories out means how we exercise. There are so many other things that affect that equation. But I will tell you right now, your body will process whole food in a different way than overly processed food. Your body can use more of the whole foods. Your body will run better, will burn more calories. So as much as you possibly can. And when I say whole foods, what does that mean? That means things that you have to prepare, right? I think that it's T-Mac Fitness. He says, if you can plan it, pick it, or chase it. If you can plan it, pick it, or chase it. I think that's what he says. So, we're talking about fruits, vegetables, proteins, right? Now, manage your sugar intake. For the love of God, you've got to stop. And honestly, I will tell you right now, if you're somebody who just has to have sugar, I would switch to a very bland diet for a month to break that taste that your body is craving. Sometimes when we are eating really tasty foods, what's going to happen is it's going to trigger your brain to want more. So by eating a very bland diet, you're kind of breaking that. And hopefully it will help to break your sugar addiction. I hate using words like that. The sugar cravings. All right. And ensure you're getting enough protein. These are the two things I got to say. Fiber and protein. And those of you that know me probably get so sick of me talking about it. But only 7% of Americans eat adequate levels of fiber. That is it. That's the secret sauce. You want to have better hormones. You want to have better blood sugar. You want to have more energy. You want to have less fat storage. Eat fiber. Please eat fiber. So for women, because I know someone's going to ask, we're going to do about 24 to 28 grams per day, men 36 to 38. So these are the dietary tweaks I'm trying to tell you right now. You want to keep your hormones in balance or help give them a little love through your metabolism. Eat whole foods, manage sugar intake, make sure you're getting enough fiber and protein. And if you're eating whole foods, you're probably going to get enough fiber. Next thing, let's talk about stress management. This one drives me crazy. People know that stress can cause health issues, that stress can lead to weight gain, that stress is bad for your health. Everybody knows it. But how many people intentionally work on stress management? How many people intentionally try to train their body to be more stress resilient? It's kind of like the last rung on the ladder for most people. When they're like, I want to boost my health, I want to lose some weight, I want to have more energy. What do I eat and how do I exercise? And then I'm saying, how's your stress? How's your stress levels? That is really important because I'll tell you right now, if your cortisol is out of control, if your stress is too high, I don't care what exercise and diet you're having. It's not going to matter because the stress is going to literally sabotage all of your efforts. So I'm not one to say that stress is bad. I have a different outlook on stress. I don't think it's that stress has gotten worse. I think it's that we as a society have gotten less stress resilient because of our lifestyle, because of the way we eat, because of the lack of exercise. But I want you to start to introduce Zen monkey times into your day. Think, breathing exercises, meditation, take a daily walk, slow walk, preferably somewhere with a nature setting. Listen to your favorite music, take a bubble bath, read a book, watch something funny, because laughing is amazing for stress management. You need to take this shit serious. Okay. The mom in me right now is coming out, and you right now are my teenager. You need to take this seriously. All right. So we talked about dietary tweaks. We talked about you need to manage your shizzle with the stress. Now let's talk about exercise strategies. Strength training. You need to be contracting your muscles. When you contract your muscles, it literally helps your body to learn to handle stress better. It impacts your longevity. It helps all these hormones that we talked about. So I would love it if you would strength train specifically. And I'm not talking about, again, I'm gonna say it right now, okay? Orange Theory, F45, because this is what's happening with those. You think it's so intense, you're all sweaty, but it's like doing moderate cardio. And I know you're doing exercises, but what you need to do is lift heavy things, like so heavy that it's really hard. And I'm saying in a safe way. And if you don't know how to do that in a safe way, you need to hire a personal trainer to at least teach you how to lift weights properly. But think of high intensity for shorter lengths of time. That is what we need to do as we're aging. And again, this is not something I can go deep into right now, but I call it the WW. Oh my, that was a really loud truck. Anyways, the WW, it is walking in weights, walking in weights, walking in weights, walking in weights. Drill it into your head. Those are the things. If you really want to get really healthy, if you want to change the way your body looks, and if you want to feel better as you age, walking and weights. So here's a little call to action for you. Why not start with one small change this week? Maybe it's adding an extra serving of veggies, or taking 2 minutes to breathe deeply before bed. I want you right now, wherever you're at, hopefully you're out walking, I want you to stop and I want you to think, what is one little thing that I can do starting this week to move the needle, balance those metabolic hormones? Coach Alicia, she's got my back. She's trying to help me here. All right. I think it's time for fact or fiction. Yeah? Fact or fiction? Okay. Fact or fiction? Hope you've been paying attention, because here we go. Is this a fact or a fiction? Women should get 10 grams of fiber per day. Is that a fact or a fiction? That's a fiction. 26 to 28 grams per day women should get. Okay. Or you could even shoot for like 25. I'll let you slide there. Moving on. All right. Let's do some myth busting, shall we? This will be fun. I want to talk about some common listener questions I get about metabolic hormones, about women's over 40s fitness. First question, can eating after 8 p.m. really wreck my metabolism? So no, late night snacking won't doom you, but what you snack on might. And the other reason I'm not a fan of late night snacking, I always think about where we come from, our ancestors. That is what our body still thrives. It thinks that we're still living in the days where we are out, hunting and gathering. And we didn't, whip up some popcorn and tell ghost stories by the fire at 10 o'clock at night. So for me, I always think eating with the sun, to me, that is probably going to be the most supportive thing you can do for the rhythm of your metabolic hormones, eating with the sun. Now, that's not to say if you eat, a snack at 8 o'clock at night that you're just screwed. But the other thing you need to think about is when you eat and then go to bed, your body's not supposed to be working on digesting food while you're sleeping. Your body is supposed to be restoring you for the next day, right? Rebalancing, replenishing. And if it has to deal with, your blood sugar's high and because you ate, and now it's working on digesting your food and processing the food, it's disruptive for your rest. Your body's not getting the full recovery benefits that it needs, and it could lead to excess fat storage. So just keep that in mind. The other question I get so flippin' much is about intermittent fasting. And we hear all these benefits about intermittent fasting. So let's talk about that. Again, can't say one size fits all here. Can't say this is across the board the truth because every woman is different. But I will tell you right now, as we get older, and again, remember what I told you about how sensitive to stress we get. So now if you say you're going to take your fast until noon, let's say, so you stopped eating at, let's say 7 p.m. the night before, and you're like, I'm not going to eat till noon. So for some women, and this, I'm included in this, for some women, when you do not eat by a certain time in the morning, your body perceives that as a threat. Your body thinks, we don't have access to food. And so it raises that stress hormone cortisol even higher. Now you have this dysregulated blood sugar, your body's on high alert, you might feel tired but wired. So I personally think that intermittent fasting for women over 40 is probably not the greatest idea, but I also don't like this idea of grazing all day either. I think, especially for us women over 40, we should stick to the way that our grandparents, great-grandparents ate, 3 square meals a day. That's what I think. That's my advice. You eat breakfast, and then you have a 3 to 4 hour window till you eat lunch. And then the only time you might really need a snack is between lunch and dinner, because that's kind of a long time. So it depends on when you eat lunch and when you eat dinner. So for me, I eat breakfast by 9 a.m. If I don't, my blood sugar goes sky high. Remember, for those of you that don't know, I have type 1 diabetes, which is also sometimes referred to as juvenile diabetes. My pancreas does not make insulin. So I have insulin in this little pump on my arm. And if I don't eat by 9 a.m., my blood sugar just starts to skyrocket. So for me, I eat breakfast by 9 a.m. and I wake up in the morning around 5 a.m. I have a small meal around 2, and then I eat dinner at 5 or 6. There you go. And if I do have a dessert, usually it's going to be some dark chocolate chips. I have it right after dinner so that I can take advantage of the fiber train, because I always have fiber with my dinner. So I want to have dessert rather than a snack an hour or two later when that fiber is already leaving my system. Hopefully that makes sense. So those are the two things I wanted to talk about today, is the snacking at night and the whole intermittent fasting. I mean, I think intermittent fasting is good for calorie control for some people, because for them it's like, I'm only allowed to eat within a certain time. But my advice for women over 40, if you want to eat within a certain window of time, shift the window earlier in the day, not later in the day. So for example, if you want to have, say, a 10-hour window of eating, I would start it by 9:30-ish, and then you would end it at 7:30. That would be a 10-hour window. And listen, if you have questions, submit them to me and I'll answer them on future episodes. That's always a fun thing. I'm here for you, sweet Rever. I'm here for you. All right, well, let's just quickly recap. Remember that understanding and balancing your metabolic hormones is crucial if you feel like your body is storing too much fat. If you want to boost your overall health, especially if you're a woman over 40, you got to understand how these hormones work. And next time, we're going to talk a bit about how to master stress. Keep your metabolism humming. Trust me, you don't want to miss it, okay? Listen, I would love it if you want to subscribe and leave a review. That would help me so much, or even at least rate the show. And feel free to share this with friends, right? Doesn't cost a dime. And I have been studying this stuff for so many years, and all I want to do is help get this education out there. Okay, be sure to scroll down, get a link to that quiz, figure out what your metabolic type is, and then you're going to get some tips on what you specifically should be doing to help to improve your metabolic hormones. All right, until next time, keep that metabolism revving. And remember, age is just a number, but your energy is priceless. All right, bye for now.